Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. Today I am going to make the Spring Boot application registration form and login. So using RESTful API. So how to set the registration form with the hash password. Okay, how to set the hash password mean how to give the security, right? So let's check it. First I'm going to register the user. So this is the API we have set it. uh, First we have run the project and we set the API on Postman. If you are not installed the Postman tool, you have to install that, right? We have set tested the backend. So now here, first I'm going to save the record. Click send. Here record has been saved. Okay, now if you want to see the records, back to your IntelliJ application. Here this is the employee table. Double click on this one. Now you can see here, and this is the email address I set it, the name, and this is the hash password. Okay, now the hash password will be set. Okay, this is the hash password. Now let me test the login. So here when you log in, we don't need this field, only we have tested login. Say a login, right? We'll test it. Okay, so here if I enter the another two, let's send it. Here password not match, status false, right? So now let's let's type the correct password and test that. Here login success, it's working. Now if you are type the email address, right? If you are type any other email, if you are click any other things here, additional A I have entered and set it again. Here email not exit. Okay, so this kind of validation how to set it. Okay, so we'll teach step by step, right? Now let's back to our IntelliJ application, right? Now I'm going to create the new Spring Boot application. So go to, I'm going to, uh, I'm going to uh, type Spring Boot, Spring Initializer. You get it this one. Click on this. Here, this is the here where we have configured our project. So first we have to click on the Maven project Maven. I need Maven with Java language Java. So here Spring Boot application they are set it as this one defaultly. We select as it is, right? So here Spring Boot here we have to group I have set it here as example, right? Here name only we have given here as we have just give the name here as registration login, register login. I give the name, right? So here this is the package com example register login. Okay, here this one should be 8 Java 8. I have installed in our machine Java 8. Here you have, if you are install, I have recommended the Java 8 is a stable version. You have download them, right, and install them. After that you have set the dependency. Click add dependency. Here first I am going to add the dependency as JPA. Second one I am going to add it here as web. Sorry, web we no need then. JPA. Second one should be the MySQL. We need a MySQL. Here we have to add as a web as well. Okay, we need this one also well. After that we have security. Security, Spring security, this one as well. This all the dependency we need there, right? After that click generated. Now you have here the file will be downloaded. Now we have to configure it, right? We have to open on the IntelliJ IDEA. So here go show. I just cut off this one back to my F drive. Here I'm going to paste it. Right click, extract file, click OK. Right, now the application is this one. Now this one I will open on the IntelliJ IDEA. So go to the IntelliJ, you have to open them. Open. Where we have put it as F drive, which name is registration and login. When you open the file, be careful how to open. I'll be teach you. Okay, so here what's the name? Registration. Register login here. Don't open, click and open. Okay, so don't open this way. Here inside this folder we are expanding. Inside the folder where there is a folder which is created login, register login. Click on this folder and open it. Okay, I have opened, right? Trust project. I'm going to open a new window. Go through that project guidance so that I open on the new terminal. So here you have to wait there. Here So all the dependencies get installed. You don't do anything else. It will be getting the whatever dependency you have put it here on the pom.xml. All the dependency will be configuring here. Here dependency here. So don't close it. Don't wait until the dependency get installed. After install them, you can have this folder. Okay, here all the dependencies get all them. You will be able to expand it. This is your project. Here, go to the form.xml. Here, all the dependencies is installed. Here you can see here whatever dependency you are selected here, JPA and security and web MySQL connector. These are the dependencies you have selected. Okay, the security must be we select as a select login. This one, okay, we have security is needed. This dependency also needed, right? So if you want to add the another dependencies, if you are forgot to add the dependencies over here, how to add the dependencies? You type whatever your MySQL. Okay, okay. I take the example of MySQL. If you are forgotten to add the dependencies, so how to get them? Maven. You type mbn MySQL. Sorry, mbn, not mbbn. It goes to the dependency. It goes to the respective dependency page. MySQL connect here. Here you can get the version, right? So you just don't get the new one. Latest one you have to get at least it's by this one. To get it, here you have to select the dependencies, copy it, and paste it on the pom.xml file. Go and have it here. You just paste it over here. Then it will be applied, right? So it applies. So here you just paste it. Will be check here. This kind of loading bar will be there here. You click on this one, it will be applied, right? It's already there. That's why it will be taking error. Okay, it's already there, right? Perfect. Right. Now let's go to the project. Right. First, I'm going to go to src main Java. Inside the Java, we have our registration login. This is our main method of Java. This is the main method. It will reside on the src main Java. This is the package. It will be defaultly. It will be installed. Right. Now here first I'm going to create the new controller. So right click, new package. This one should be the controller. So first, what is the controller? I'm going to employee controller. Employee controller. Right. Let's give the name as here employee controller. Sorry. Controller. Right. The employee controller has been created. Now we have to add the another things, DTO, an entity, right? Repo service, right? You have to create these following packages. Second package is DTO. Third one is entity. Entity. Depend DTO employee controller entity. Another package we need is service. After that, repo. Here we have to select the query will be working. Repo. Repo is the part where communicate with the database, right? So here, right? So the controller, it will be managing the project. So another one is we have to forget it. That's a config. This one should be the must. Right. Perfect. Okay, these are the packages you must create it. Right. Now, first what I'm going to do is controller. Right click here. Oh, your class, you have to write a class here. The class, select the class. This class you have to write as employee controller. Right. So empty controller. Now we have to add the annotation. This following annotation we have to add it. We go to the employee controller. REST controller cross origin. Okay, it will be this one should be must when you are connect with the front end application. Request mapping. This is the API we are setting. Okay, this is a RESTful API. So you have to implement the REST controller. So this in Spring Boot, how to manage they all the project structure, they are implement the annotation. So it's simply this is a RESTful API. So you have to write the at the RESTful API. So you write REST controller. You have to implement it here. After that, this one work for the front end part. If you connect the front end, okay, this is a back end. The cross origin is must. Second one, third one should be the request mapping. Why we implement this annotation? This annotation we are implement the here where we have to add the RESTful API request. Okay, so we have to set the path. So here like this. You have to. This is the correct way you add it. You have to write like this. API, which this one you have to write slash version. This is employee. Right, employee means this is how we have write the request. Okay, right, the like this here. Right, this one should be the port. What is the port you are setting? Right, so we have talk it little bit later on this one. We have to understand so far. This is must. Right. After that, employee controller. What I'm going to do is here. First, I'm going to create the function. So how to create the functions? First, you have to write this like this. Postman this function. Right. So I'll write here. I just copy and paste it. So here, because it takes too much of time to complete it otherwise, right? So first you have to write postman. Here postman. This is post request. Postman. Post mapping. Because we are posting the values. When you save the record, we are posting the values. Okay, so we are writing post mapping. When you get the values from the database, that is get mapping. So the postman path save. When the request is coming like save here. If you write save here, when the request is saved, I already saw this one. Record will be saved in the database. So we have to write a save here. So you have to write implement the functions public string save employee body request. We have to get the details from the DTO. We have the employee DTO. Here we haven't created this class, so we have to show this trademark, right? Right. Okay. We get the details from where employee DTO. Right. Now first, I'm going to create the entities. Right. So entity. After that, we have to create the DTO, right? Entity class. Let's select as employee, right? Employee as employee name. So address. So employee name, username, password, right? The 3 fields enough. If you want more field, you have to add it. Okay. Employee name, first name, last name, mobile number, age, all the whatever you can add it. Okay. In this example, I added this 3. Okay. If you want, you add it, right? So before that, you have set like this. If it is entity, you have set this called annotation entity and table, right? What is a table? You have to create on the database, right? So here you have to add you have to call the entities here, this annotation, okay, right? I just copy and paste it. You have to write yourself, okay? So how to write it here? Simply you have to annotation entity. You have to get it then here. Click on here, get them, right? You have to get them here. If you import it, it is coming. Okay, if I copy and paste it, it asks red mark because we have to implement the package. So here, how to implement the package? Alt plus enter. Then it asks import the class. This is a class inside of the package. It will import, right? Okay, that's it. Okay, this is how we have implement the annotation. Okay, this is a table name employee. Why this table name? The database table, this all the records should be saved in our database table. So the table name I have here, here I have implemented here as employee. The employee, this employee name in our database tables will be created. Right. Now here I'm going to create this following attributes. What are the attributes student has? So here, let's copy it and paste it. I will be explained. Don't worry. First here ID, right? ID. So here you have to implement the annotation here ID. Here. So write ID. You get the ID, right? Okay, ID. After that column. So here will not press enter key. Then only the all things are classes are important, right? So this is a column. Column. This is a column where in our database. So it will be auto increment employee ID. Its length I given as 45. Generate value here set as generation type auto mean when the record is added, the employee ID will be added automatically. So we have to set like this, right? Length I have set it 45. This is the this is the attribute I have set at employee ID. This is the column database column name. This is our form, our RESTful API. We are sent like this employee ID, right? Now here this one second column I'm going to set employee name. Employee name we have to create in our database table. Employee name look like this. Okay, so here if you want to store here, show here the example here, right here. The earlier example I show you this one, right? In our form field, this RESTful API we have to write like this. Okay, your form field, you are set here, you are write like this. Okay, this is a form field. This is the database we have set it. Okay, right? That's how we have created. Okay, right? So database we have created employee name. Given the length, this is the length. This is the employee name. Second, third one is email and password. These are the attributes we have set, right? So this is ID field, so that we have to give the annotation ID. This is a column. This is the auto increment. These three things we have set it to the ID. Rest of the column we have only one annotation is there, column. We have given the column name only. What's the column in your database? This record should be added. You have to given here, right? Now let's add the constructor and non parameter constructor and empty constructor and get and set method and string function. These are must. Okay, these all the values we are getting to the outside. Here we need that function. So right click. So this one right click. You don't need to type it. There's generate. Okay, generate constructor. First, to all things. All on shift key down and select all. Okay, you're getting all the construct values. So okay. Constructor. The values are coming via the constructor. Okay, employee name, email, password, like this. Right. Second one, right click, generate constructor. This is a none constructor. None. The empty constructor. After that, you have to implement the get and set method. Right click, generate get and set method. Select all the attributes. So we need a get and set method here. All get and set method will be selected, right? What happened here? Set it. Okay, right. After that we need another one. Right click, generate. We need this one string, toString method also we need. Click OK. Right, perfect. This how we have at the entities. Okay, this the entity will be calling to the database, right? Add the data into the database. So here, right now what I'm going to do, I need a DTO part, right? DTO, I'm going to create this all things. We need only the DTO class, new class, this employee DTO, right? Employee DTO. Here we need only the things. We no need to do this all the things. We copy it. Just copy this on the things. You have to paste it the DTO. Nothing to do it. Only the values we need. And these all things we no need them. We have to cut it. This only the things. Here we are not creating the table and only the passing the values. So we have to do the DTO also. Like this. Simple. Okay. DTO. This is how we have created DTO. Employee DTO. Right. The DTO also we have to set the all things. But things, right click, generate. We need a constructor. All the constructor, select and okay. After that we have to select the get and set method and empty constructor. You have to get the empty constructor, none. After that you have to write the get and set method as well. So right click, generate get and set method as well, select all and get and set method as well. Right. After that we have need a string also. Right click, strings function also need. Generate string. That's it. That's the thing here, right? Okay. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, now we have a DTO. Now here if you are, when the customer comes, here this employee DTO is there. It's a DTO. Okay, first what you're going to do is, you have to import the class. So you have to select here, Alt enter mean, yeah, I just copy and paste it so that you are coming here like this. Here, when the request is coming via DTO, these are the records. Okay, so it goes to the DTO, right? So DTO, so we have to DTO. DTO we have create the here this is object. We have to create the employee object DTO. Right here we have to write, we have to call it here. So this one, what is the requests are coming when the postman is coming to the controller. So here when the request is coming is save, it's coming to the controller, put it here and passing to here. Okay, so here it go to the, it's calling the employee service at the employee method. So now we didn't write the employee service and all. So now I'm going to go to create the employee service here. You have to create a class employee service. So here, what's the class employee service? Right, the employee service. Right, so the employee service class. Employee service. Sorry, employee service is not a class. Sorry for that. This one service, select this one, new Java class employee service is not a class, which is an interface. We are calling this interface. Only we can't do anything, only we have to declare the method only, this interface, right? This interface, right? The interface we have to, this one, the employee service, right? Employee service. So the employee service we have to call the annotation, auto-aware annotation also we have to call. Right? So how to declare the annotation? This one, auto-aware, sorry, here, not here, this inside the class, right? Auto-aware, right? So we have employee services there, so it will be here, right? Employee service. So employee service, you write here, employee service, this one here, so employee service class, employee service, the same name you write employee service, right? Right. Now here we have to create the method. You don't need to create, click on here, create method should be there, click on this, it will be created here. Okay, it automatically create the method, you don't need to create it one. Okay, right? Perfect, it's working perfect. Right, now what I'm going to do is, it's working perfect, no problem. Right, now after that what you're going to do is, I'm going to select the service, I'm going to create the another package which is a IMPL. It's the implementation IMPL. Right, here we have to create another class which is a employee IMPL. Right, employee IMPL. Select the package, new class, you have to create as employee IMPL. IMPL, you have to create the class like this. Now this IMPL class is created successfully. Now I have to implement the this interface, employer interface, right? So you have to write the key, you have to type implements employee service. You have to get this class, right? So this is class getting. Now it is not a error. It asks to implement this method. We have to return the method, but we just implement the method only. We have to work through this method here, right? So click on here, this bulb icon, implement this method. This method, click OK. Right, it is implemented successfully. Right, now here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add the records into the database. Right, so before that, now this is the flow we are working. Controller is throwing the record to service. Service will be passing the record to repo. So repo also we have to create the repo as well. So you have to write class employee repo. This is also the interface, not a class, interface. You have to create repo interface. Right. Now here what I'm going to do is, this interface, I'm going to implement these annotations. What are the annotations? Enable JPA repository and repository. We have to implement these two annotation, which will be managed in the repository part. Right. After that, we have to write extend. You have to write like this. This class, this interface, you have to write the extends keyword, extends JPA repository. Here employee, which is entity. Here this first one should be integer mean, This is ID. What's the ID in the entity? What is the type? It's an integer type. This is integer type. You have to write the integer type, int type. So you have to, what's the ID? It's a primary key. What is the primary key you have set it? If it is integer, you have to set here as integer. That's why you have to select as integer. So here it asks to import the entity. So select this one, or enter, it import the class. Right, that's it. If you are writing, you just step by step you have to write extend or JP repository employee integer, right? Okay, if I return and explain it, they take too much of time to complete this project. Okay, now here what I'm going to do is that's it. That's the thing you have to write. Okay, that's the thing we have to write. Right. Now let's back to my IMPL. Here I have to call our uh, repo. So your repo, we have to auto-wait, we have to write here is repo. You have to write auto-wait, you have to write this repo. This class is repo. You have to write like this. So here it employee repo. It asks employee the class. Right, perfect. Right, it's perfect. Now what I'm going to do is here, employee, and here we have to return the, so null. You have to write here. I'll be explaining, don't worry. Just copy and paste it and I'll be explaining, don't worry. Right. Now here what I did here is, right? So here, this class, I have to return the employee. Employee means this is entity. Employee class entity. You have to create the object employee, new employee. We have to create the object employee, right? The employee class, this is employee class. We have to use this all the properties. Okay, ID should be auto increment. We don't need them. We need employee name, email, and password, right? We have to type like this, employee name, password. So here the same thing, it will be coming to the employee service here. So the data is coming from the DTO, employee DTO. So this is employee DTO. So employee DTO. So you have to write this employee DTO. So employee DTO object here, employee DTO, right? It's coming here. Get the details and set into the entity. So how to set the entity employee? This entity we have to create the object employee. This GTO object dot get employee. Get employee ID, employee name. So we have another field which is a password. The password should be, what is the password? This encoder, we have to set the hash password. So we have to write the password encoder. So this one, this class also, we have to add this annotation. Okay, so write private password encoder, password encoder. So here this one, this class you have to write. Okay, then only we have to add the encode password. So when we are not set the password like normal password you can't set, you have to write a security password. Okay, so you have to call private password encoder, password hash password. You have to password encode. So you have to write this password encoder, encode whatever password you type, it will be encoded and save it. That's the thing you have to write. After that, click save button. It will return back to the get employee name. So okay, this is a get employee name. So you have to write get employee name. This name, get employee name. Employee class, there is the property. Why it's not getting get employee name? So you have to write the get employee. What is the name? Sorry, we have to implement this class. That's why it's there. Right. Employee get employee name. Right. Okay. Right. Perfect. This one you'll get it. Right. The detail, the employee ID, employee name. This one should be auto increment. This one employee name, employee address, email address, password. You set it and it's called the repo. This repo, employee repo also here. You have to auto where dot save method. There's in repo. There's a default method which save. You have to call this employee object over here. Record is saved. The record is coming via the DTO. It's set into the entity. After that, it's all the record will be saved in the entity object. Entity object you are calling to the repo, right? It will be saved. The repo is a part where I communicate the database and add the record into the database. After that, it will be returned back to the message employee get employee name. What's the employee name you are written here? It will be getting. If you have the ID also passed, you have the ID also you can get it. Okay, this is the thing. the record is added. Okay, very simple. Right, now let's save all. Right, now let's we go to the resources folder, application property. Here we have to configure our database connection. Right, so do you not need this all source code I provide you, don't worry. Here the application property, here I just copy and paste here the application properties. Here we have configure all the database configuration. Okay, so here Spring Boot application name. This is our registration login. I just give the project name. Right. This is the port where we are running the server. So okay, if you want to change the port, I'm going to change the port as 98090. This is the port where my project need to run. So we have to set the port like this. Here JPA Hibernate select at create. So in the first time we have create the database, you have create. This one should be our MySQL driver. You have to specify the MySQL driver. Right. After that, Spring data source. Here your database connection you have given here. This is the port in our localhost. This is our database I have created. Whatever name. I'm going to create a name as DB Office. This is a database name I have to create. Create database. If not exit true. Okay, the simple code. Okay, this is the while you installing the uh, MySQL workbench. Okay, what is the username and password you are given? You have to write like this. Okay, you have to the MySQL workbench. If you are not installed MySQL workbench, you have to install the MySQL workbench. Here we have to connect with the databases, right? MySQL workbench. You have to install that, right? Okay. After that, you have to write this simple JPA configuration. You have to write like this. Okay, this is all the source code I provide you. You just copy and paste it. You have to understand what is here. This code only have to work. This is a default JPA configuration. When you install the MySQL connection, this is the database I have created. This is username and password you set, right? This is the database I haven't created it. Now I'm going to create a database. Okay, so this is simple stuff. Now let's create a database. So all things have delete right here. Let's run and check whether it's working fine or not. Go to the controller. Now let's run the project. Now you can see here the database is created. The table has been, all things are here created. Here create the tables. You can see here, right? So you can see check. After that, what you're going to do is you have to go to the database section. Your database, you are not doing anything else. You have to create the database. Okay, so here click on here database, data source. Here, what is the name here? We given application property. This is DB Office. So go to the database here. You can see the database. Click on this data source. You have to get the database MySQL. So localhost. Username is root. Password is root 123. Database is DB Office. You can check the connectivity. Connection success. Okay, connection success, right? Click apply. Okay. Now you can check your database. This is a database configuration. Your table. Here's a table which is an employee. These are the following. These are all the things created successfully. Right? Okay. Right. This is how you have created the everything. Right. Now let's do the another thing is we no need have any problem. Let's test that whether record is added or not. Right. Now you can see here the port. What is the port you have given here? 8090 is the port. Okay. So if you are not download the Postman, you have download the Postman. You have type HTTP. You have select here as a post request. So HTTP slash localhost. Here you have to specify the port. What is the post you are given? After that, this one should be the API. How to get this API? You have set it here. You can see here. Here this is the API. You have set it here. API version employee. This V1 in the version. Okay, this is must. This is the efficient way to set the API. Slash when the request is coming save, it goes to the it goes to save method here. What does is first get the records from the DTO and in passing to the service. Service will be passing to the repo. Okay, that's how the flow is working. Now let's check. Okay, before that, we have a do anything else here. The config, we have to create the configuration part. So the password security, here we have a separate configure password here, this one. We go to the IMPL, you can see here, we have implement the password encoder. So we have to add the config, we have create the package, we have to new add a class, you type config security config, you have to create the class. So that purpose here we have to give the we have to give to import the class. So you have to write like this. You have to talk the bean, you have to set the bean here, bean password encoder, you have to set this password encoder here. Here we have to import the class. You have to type like this. Okay, bean password encoder, you have to type password encoder, right? Okay, right, you have to type like this, password encoder, this one. Okay, return this password. Okay, so then only now you can see and check. Here also you can check here the configuration. You try the configuration here, configuration annotation. You write configuration, this annotation, this is the configuration, this is the configuration annotation. Now let's run and check. Now it's working. Now it's working, you can see this, now it's working. Now let's test it whether it's the coding is working or not. Right now what I'm going to do is we have already see this is our localhost. This is a port where we running our service. So which port, you can go to the project, you can see inside the application property, this is a port we set it. Okay, so localhost, that post, and employee control, this is the URL, API version employee. So employee version employee, the save method, you can see the save method, right? So let's try on this. Click on this, go to the body, here it's working, right? Now let's go and check it, the database, double click on this, here it's working. Okay, here the password is will be created here like this. Okay, now perfect, it's working perfectly well. Now if there are any problem while create this security, so here go to the main method, registration login application, you have to write like this, Spring Boot, only this annotation will there, this is the main class, our main class. Here you have to write this exclude Spring auto, the security auto configuration class, you have to write like this, you have to get exclude, then it's work, right? If there any problem while you get it, right? Okay, you have to implement this one, that's it, that's the thing you have to write. Right, now after that we have to start with the login. Now let's start the login. So first login, the entity also the same entity. So here we have a DTO. We have in login, we have to create the different DTO. New class, this one should be the login DTO. So to get the login DTO, right? Class. Here you have to write, you have to implement this following method. Here only. We need only do these two fields. Okay, this DTO go through these fields. Okay, this DTO as we have these two fields have email and password only we are checking. So then what you are going to do is you have to write, first you have to add a constructor. So generate constructor, hold on shift key down and select both. After the empty constructor, you have set the empty constructor. After that, you have get and set method, you have generate the get and set method. After that, you have set the string value. Right click, generate string, to string method. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. Okay. After that, you have to go to the controller, employee controller. You have to write, you have to implement this one, this method when the request is coming. Right, I just copy and paste it and I'll be explained, don't worry. This course code I provide you. You write post mapping path login. If you type like this, login, it goes to the login function. Okay, Right here, this one you have to write public response entity. You have to write the response. This is a response. You have to get the response, right? Whether password is succeed or not. Okay, you have to write the login function. Request body this DTO. You have to import this DTO. So you write this alt enter. You have to import the class. Already have. If any red shown, you have to write click on here. Press alt and enter. It will be gone. Okay, so here this login message we haven't created this class. Okay, employee service and check it. Login employee. Okay, so here we have to create the class. This one we have to create. Click on this. Create the employee service. Right, login it will be created. Now what you are going to do is here, go to the IMPL. So IMPL section, you have to import it. Here, click on here, implement the method. Click, the method will be imported. Here, it will be imported successfully. Now what I am going to do is here we have to login message. The message will be displayed. Okay, so we have to create simply this section, response section, payload response, right? So here write this one, message, login message. So here write here go right here. What you're going to do is we have to go to here. I'm going to create another package. Select this one, and the package you have to create response. Here you have to create the class login response. I get login response. So login response, right? Now here what I'm going to do is here we have to this class we have a two message and status, right? You have to create here also you have to import the get and set method. So generate constructor, we have two argument constructor. We have to pass the empty constructor as well. Generate empty constructor none. After that you have to generate the get and set method. After that you have to set another one thing is toString. Select this one, generate toString method. Also we have to implement these all things. Perfect. Right. Now what I'm going to do is this one login response. You have to go to the controller. This one login response. But you have to mark. You have to import the class or present. Okay. Login response, right? The login response, right? So here the same thing name we have to given here. These are also login response. Response. You have to create this response. The same thing copied. This one also copied and paste it over here. Login response. This class use the IMPL also login response. Okay, login response, right? Login response, right? Login response. It's a login response. Sorry, login response. Right. Login response. Here the same thing. Service also login response. Right. Perfect. Right. Now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to check it. Right. So how to check it? IMPL is a login checker. Just copy it and paste. I will be explaining. Don't worry. Okay. Right. Now here what I'm going to do is this one all the things are login response. Right. Here what I did here is here when the URL coming to the controller here login it's goes you get the details only employee DTO coming this only email and password passing to this controller, get them, receive them. and pass into the where service employee service login method. So it goes to the login method over here. Okay, method here. This one will be passing to the implementation here. Now here get the data and here check it. First you have to create the variable message employee. You have to write employee one. You have to create the employee one object. Here we have to go and check the repo. So repo, go to the employee repo. Here we have these two things. We have to copy and this one we have to paste it here. Our repo which has the repo here created, paste inside here. Right. So in repo, you have to write optional employee. You have to find one by email and password. Okay. What is the password coming from the DTO? You have to pass it here and check it. Okay. This is the simple select story. After that, we have to separately we have to check the email also, whether the email is valid or not. Find email. Right. So here let's back to our IMPL. So here you check here. But you have to check repo find email. Here the email is valid. The email is valid email. It's go and check here this one. If it is not null records, here our what is the password you are getting password encode password you have to get the encode password. You have to write here boolean password right here, write encoder match. You have to start with your match password encode match. You have to write like this. And here we have to check it if the username and password valid or not. Optional employee repo find what is the email I getting and password. If it is match, if it is present mean there is a function which is a present. The password is username and password, those are match, login success, otherwise login failure. Right? Login fail. Okay. Right? Okay, after that, if there are any password not match, it will be passing error password not match. If there is any error of the email, this email is not valid here. First, you have to check the email first. If the email is not valid, it will be written the message as email is not exist. Okay, we have put the message as right. Now let's test that. Let's test that. Again, we have to run the query and check it. Right. Now I am going to add the new record. Here I am going to add the James. You have to write James Jim Gmail. Here password is this, right? Now let's send record added. Now I'm going to test that through login. Here you have to write login. Right, login. Test whether it's working fine or not. Click send button. Here record is success. So here this both record is match. It will be returning the message login success. If there any problem with the email not access, here you can see here. First we have to we validate the email. Then only if the email is exist only it will be go and check the password. So it will be written email is not exist, right? If their username and password fail, it will be working here login fail. So here if you are writing there here sorry what right now if you write the password wrong, you can see here password not match. Okay, password not match. Right here it's working. It's a login success. It's very simple. This is how we have make the simple login and we make the login and registration page using the hash password. All the source code I provide you. Thank you for watching.